This is a dream come true. I have been praying for this moment. I want to say thank you to Bishop Phillips for the call, for the ask. I've been waiting for it. It didn't have to be me, but somebody to talk about mental health. And I want to say, uh, give honor to all of the pastors and their wives, and you all, my parents who are here, and my husband who is here. So I'm so full and thankful and grateful. This is truly an answered prayer. Today I'm going to speak about culture, faith, and mental health. How to recognize symptoms. This is coming from a clinical perspective. This is coming from an educational perspective. And how to respond with compassion and how to connect people with care. And I'm going to do that with four short stories. Okay? The first story is a journey of faith, perseverance, and support. This individual was raised in the church as a preacher's daughter. She graduated with honors in high school and attended college rightly immediately. By age 21, she had experienced an unplanned pregnancy at age 19, academic failure due to the pregnancy, marriage, because she thought in her mind that if I get pregnant, what I gotta do? Oh Lord, I gotta do what? Get married. In her mind. Now that's important, in her mind. 2 years later, she ended up divorcing. When she divorced, she was 21 years old with two babies. She started off with one, she ended up with two. She had to move back home with her parents, who she was blessed. She had both her father and her mother. However, she had two babies that she brought home with her. This caused her to attempt suicide because she thought she was a failure. This caused her to become homicidal because she was looking for the guy who she married and was upset and hurt because he didn't follow through. She wanted her boys to have a father just as she did. But guess what? That didn't happen. She was constantly asking God, where are you? Why am I going through all of this? I did everything right. I think I did everything you told me to do. So now a single mother of two boys, it took her 7 to 8 years to earn a 4-year degree. It took her 7 to 8 years to earn a master's degree that would normally take 2 years. It took her 15 years to get a professional license. Not only did that happen to her, now this is a preacher's kid now, okay? While in college, at age 28, she was diagnosed with an incurable disease. She was in fear. It caused her to fear because she was told by neurologists, you may eventually lose your ability to walk, talk, and live independently. Fear caused her to withdraw from loved ones. She became angry. She became bitter and tried to handle things on her own. Through faith, God's grace and mercy, pastoral support, family support, professional counseling, medication, discipline, and consistency, she rebuilt her life, remarried, completed school, and established her career. Challenges still arise, but she now has a strong support system, a deeper faith, and the ability to use her experiences to help others. The key message in this particular situation is faith and professional support can work together. Your struggles shape your story, but they do not have to end it, because she could have been gone. Okay. All Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna go over is culture. What is culture? Culture shapes how we understand the world, how we see the world. It influences how stress is named, explained, shared, and supported. And this is what amazes me is how God is. You guys have the service has already fought out of some of this stuff. I'm not going to even go over because it's already started with the dance. It tells you about they talked about depression, they talked about anxiety, they talked about those things. But now I'm going to tell you, once you pray about it, what's the next step to do about it? Okay? Including, now we're not going to forget that with the things that I'm going to suggest to you guys, to you all, prayer is still the key. However, you still need to be able to take care of things when they are presented to you or happen to you. Okay? So culture is the shared beliefs, values, customs, traditions, language, behaviors, and experiences that shape a group understanding how they understand the world and interact with others. So basically what that means is what you have learned on how to deal with people, how to see life, how to deal with problems, those types of things is from what you have learned as well at home, what you will learn at church, what you will learn at school. Now we have Instagram, we have I'll try to stay away from social media, but social media that tries to tell us what is okay and what's not okay. And so if we don't talk to our children about the things that I'm getting ready to talk about, not even our children, but our spouses, and actually teach ourselves on how to see things, the things of this world will definitely contribute to how you see things and how you take care of problems. Okay? Mental health and mental illness are not the same. So when people say, talk about mental health, they automatically think that it is pertaining to things like depression, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. So what happens when you think that way? You totally shy away from it because some of us, culturally, have been taught that schizophrenia, oh no, I don't have that. I'm not going to Jackson. I haven't been in Jackson. I haven't been in East. You start to think about the person who you see on the corner that's talking to themselves, that is doing these things, and those things do happen. However, mental health is something that all of us have, and you will have that until you leave this world. Your mental health is how you see the world, how you respond to the world. It is how you like I said, respond, because half of the time, how you respond is what gets you in trouble. I worked at the jail for 7 years as a mental health professional. And when I tell you, y'all, most of the time, the reason why people was in jail was because of the impulse behavior. And then afterthought was when they ended up in jail. And then they had to see me because everybody who said that they had a mental health issue or had been treated for mental health before or had used substance abuse, well, had issues with substance abuse, guess who they saw? They saw me for 7 years. And every time, I'm like, well, what bring you here? Man, I wasn't thinking. She said this, or she said that, or he said this, he said that, and I just reacted. And then I woke up, and then, bam, here I am. And then now you got extra problems. Now you got to deal with probation officer. You got these guards that's telling you what to do, all because you did not take the time to stop and think. And get this, he may have prayed about it. He may have prayed about it. He may have talked to someone about it. He may have talked to someone who he loved and he trusts. However, when it happened, because you didn't have that skill of stop, think, review the consequences. Because one thing about it, I don't care what you believe, because I talk to atheists. When they come in front of me, y'all will not believe. And even in the black culture, when I ask the question, well, what's up with your spirituality? You know what I get? I don't believe in God. He don't come from me. What do I do with that? But be an example So they can say, well, what you doing? But anyway. Okay, so back to mental health and mental illness are two different things. We all have mental health that can turn into an illness if we don't take care of it. Also, mental health is equal to physical health. Everybody, well, I was about to say everybody go to the doctor, but that's not true. But I promise you, if you woke up with a severe headache and your wife or your husband or your spouse or partner, whoever find you on the floor, who you gonna call? We gonna pray first while they on the floor, right? You be praying while you calling the people to come get them. That's what you pray while you are calling the people to help. That's the same way with your mental health. The way mental health is, we all have sadness, which can turn into depression. We all have anxiety. If we didn't have anxiety, we wouldn't get nothing done. Nothing done. It's a feeling of, I don't know if you ever felt like, oh my God, you see the house is dirty. I don't know, maybe some of the wives or the female, I don't know, men too. But if the house is a mess and the kitchen is not clean and you see the people who you live with just walk by, it just give me some type of, that is anxiety. That means that you're not going to rest until what? Until it's done. And it's a problem now just imagine, we have people who are constantly in a hyper-vigilant state. What that means is, you ever had a dog come after you? And a big dog, I'm telling you, the girl who do my hair, she had two big Rottweilers in her house. Two big ones. Now, they like women, but they didn't like men. But if one of them come after me, when I walked in, and I had this, I didn't know whether to do what, run, fight, or whatever. Those are the things that God has given us and placed in us to be able to protect us. Now, just imagine when now that is mental health. The mental illness part comes in when you in that state 24/7. I have people that I work with that are in that state 24/7. That becomes mental illness. That's when I recommend that they do see their primary care doctor to rule out things. Maybe it's something else causing it. Maybe it's a physical issue that's causing it. Because one thing that I do know, if you are depressed all the time, if you are hypervigilant all the time, you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to probably have a stroke or a heart attack. So if you would have started first with taking care of your mental health, talking to someone, finding someone that you trust, finding someone that, when I say trust, whoever the person is that you find, this person got to be able to take care of that person's story. What does that mean? I'm going to be confidential. I'm going to listen. I'm going to actively listen. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to be playing on my phone because this person is coming to me with their story. Okay? So, y'all, I'm not going to do all four of the stories. I think I'm just going to do this last one. I'm going to say a couple of things that I think you guys have heard before. The last one, I had three stories. I'm going to do this last one about covering up. Covering up. Does that sound familiar? We got a lot of, I'm going to say this. We got a lot of people that should have been in jail. We got a lot of people that skip accountability and responsibility for hurting the people who we love and for hurting you. You understand what I'm saying? Because we didn't want that person to go, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. But guess who hurting? The victim, the person who has been hurt. But we don't say anything, right? So this is a story of domestic violence. We have to talk about it. Because trust and believe, out of all of us, I know it's been one person in this room right now that has dealt with domestic violence. And it ain't no joke. Because you go to bed and he's there or she's there. You wake up and he's there or she's there. And so Who you gonna talk to? Why? I don't want to say nothing. I don't want him to go to jail. I don't want to say nothing because people gonna be looking at me. I don't want to say nothing because everybody gonna be, those thoughts that come to our head. So this is about Jayla. Now this is collateral damage, and when I say collateral damage, that means that because we, and I'm saying we, because we are a collective. As I said before, the culture. The culture means collective. And I heard somebody say it earlier, and I was like, God, look at God. They just all over collective. We are a people together, right? So this is the thing. Safety comes before family secrecy. This is what this story is about. Jayla is 15 years old. After repeatedly witnessing violence at home, she becomes fearful, withdrawn, and increasingly hopeless. She begins cutting her arms and hides the injuries beneath her long sleeves. Okay, so she told her mom, and this is what her mom says. Girl, go put something on that because see, she knew, mom knows that something is going on in this house, that this child is going through something. But this mom says, hey, if I say something, it's gonna start a whole world, a whole family. This is the person who take care of this house, and we can't say nothing about that. Just close your door. If you hear me and your daddy arguing, just close the door. Okay? So mom tells her what goes on in this house, and I want y'all to finish it because we collective, and I need y'all help. So what is it? What is it? This belief discourages Jayla from seeking help now, and guess what happened? It affected her even in her adulthood. So we wonder why. I am also a trauma professional. So with trauma, a lot of trauma occurs or is a lot of trauma is a result of that saying. And let me say this, I'm not criticizing the individual who said what goes on in this house stays in this house, because guess what happened? In trauma, we go into what's called survival mode. We do what we need to do at the moment to stay alive. We do what we need to do at the moment to move forward so that we can stay alive. That is how God equipped us, as I said before, with that that fight or flight mode, that hypervigilance, and that is to protect us. However, if support, because they didn't say anything, because Jayla's mom didn't say anything, if support is delayed, secrecy can conceal violence, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts with life-threatening consequences. So faith and professional care can work together. Professional counseling does not replace a relationship with God. For many people, spiritual support is an important part of mental health, and it can exist alongside other forms of care. Prayer, here are some forms of care. Prayer and pastoral care gives meaning, hope, and guidance. Professional counseling, which is what I do, I assess the situation and I help them. I am a support. I'm saying but professional counseling is an added support. It does not, let me repeat that, because I am a Christian and I believe in God, and I talk to, like I said earlier, atheists, black, white, Hispanic, LGBTQAI, all of that. And one thing about it, let me say this, when I talk to them, I tell them, the principle remains. It don't matter what you believe in, it don't matter what you do, the principle remains. When you make a decision, you got to deal with the consequences of that decision. So that's what I stand on whenever I'm talking to those individuals. Another thing, medical and medication care. I refer out to primary care doctors. I refer out, and first thing I ask is, do you have a church home? Do you have somebody who you can be connected to? Because us as individuals, we need connection. And being alone and isolated for days and weeks and saying I can handle it on my own, guess what happens? When you think you can handle it alone, you really can't. God gave us brothers and sisters. That's why whenever they come to you, I'm going to tell you what you can do to help the person who comes to you. Okay. When someone opens up, your response matters. In my situation, y'all, I get so nervous when one of my clients come in my office and say, remember you said, I was thinking about what you said. You know, you said, now when you said, I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? And so that's why I have to be very, 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 very careful with my words. Because see, let me tell you something, the relationship, it matters. Because what happens is, see, when Sister Carter, which is my godmother, she's here right now, when she says something, I take it to heart. You understand what I'm saying? And if I'm anywhere and I'm doing something opposite of what she said, I'm like, this ain't right. I get a feeling. Because the relationship matters. Like if you have a good relationship with your father, if your father tell you something, or if you have a good relationship with your mother, they tell you something, and if it's something good and something to help you, you should feel some type of way when you're doing something other than that. Just like when you feel some type of way when you do something other than what God says. Because the ultimate thing, like I said, God is the ultimate one. You understand what I'm saying? God is his principles remain. And then anything after that, he gives us people that go right up under that. So when someone opens up, this is what you do. Here's the thing, like they're saying now. Here's the thing. Ask. Don't be afraid to ask. But when you ask, be prepared to listen. Because you want to ask directly, especially my kids. Well, 2 of them are grown. Then I have one that's 19. And he stays in the room. Oh, my God. I'll be like, is that boy still here? He stay in that room. Junior is in that room. Or if he ain't in that room, he's in outside, but in the outside 2 room. But he's, go in there and see what's going on. I had a client. I won't say no names because of HIPAA, and I'm going to be kind of vague about it. But guess what? Went in there and found her son dead. So check on your people. And guess what? No signs. Nothing. Okay? So check on your people. And when you check on them, don't eventually start, oh, God said don't do that. When they hear don't, they going to shut down. You got to be there. Listen calmly, without judgment. Without judgment. Keep safe. Take self-harm, violence, and suicide concerns seriously. I don't care, say, oh, she doing that for attention. Oh, she doing this. She trying to tell you something. Maybe if you stop and listen and be quiet, you'll be able to hear, connect, help the person reach a professional, spiritual, and crisis support. I will say this, I've gotten referrals from our pastors here. So let me tell you, our church is hearing and is listening. I've gotten referrals from pastors here. So make sure, like me, I don't know everything. And I tell my client, they think I know everything. I'm like, I'm not no genie. I don't have no wands. Don't come in here. I'm not no Sister Eve. I can't tell you the future. What I'm here to do is help you find you and help you to become an authentic you and take the mask off that you've been hiding behind because you can't be yourself and you can't do this or that. So that's what my job is, and I love my job. Okay, follow up. This is so important. Check in again. Don't assume one conversation solved it. That means that's when we keep praying, keep looking for them in church, keep seeing if they coming to church. If they're not coming to church, there's a reason. There's a reason. And I'm not just saying church, even in your home. Like I said, my son stay in the room. That just bothers me because I'm like, well, you're not going to come out. Like I said, check on them. I'm telling you, you need, listen to them because they dealing with some stuff. Social media puts out this this fake way of living. And when I tell you it's so fake, and how I know it, because they sit in my office, y'all, I'm like, I thought you had money. No. Let them turn that camera around and you see what that room really got. No bed, they sleeping on the floor, but their hair is done. They got the little edges and everything else. But see, I see Mitra laughing. Because it's true. Let them turn that camera just to the left for 1 second. You'll see what the real is. Okay, so and now I'm going to give you a couple of resources, a couple of phone numbers. Know which help to call and act quickly. Okay, so 988, this is a national number, so I don't care wherever you are, you can call 988. It's free, confidential, 24/7 support for suicidal, mental health, and substance use crisis. A person does not have to be suicidal in order to contact 988. They can talk to a therapist on site. They can talk to because that's the number I give my clients, because I promise you, my mama could tell you, I'm always declining calls because my clients find my number. They like, Miss Smith. I'm like, well, how they get? So if you call me, if you know me, if you call me, I'm probably going to send you the voicemail if I don't recognize the number for that reason. Okay, 911. If the person says, I have a plan, if the person says that, hey, I'm going to do this when I get home. If you notice that they're writing letters, if they're giving things away, if they're doing things that are out of the norm, please don't take that lightly. That could be a life-threatening event happening right in front of you. You stay with the person, and then you call 911 for immediate cut. Now, when 911 get there, as long as you put that person with a safe person, you can exit. Because guess what's going to happen? You don't want to be traumatized. You stay there and you keep, I'm just saying that's just a tidbit of advice. Because once I say I refer them, I have to leave that there. Because once you don't want to undo what the person helping them is trying to do. Okay? Do not, this is the last thing, do not promise secrecy when safety is at risk. In other words, if you say, if this person, because this is something every day when I always get this. I'm about to tell you something that I ain't told nobody. I'll be like, oh Lord, every single time. But I'm my phone, I make sure I'm intentional. That's another thing. You gotta be intentional. You can't just go haphazard when somebody tell you that. And so I can't promise secrecy. I tell them up front. Now, if you say you're going to harm yourself or harm someone else, I have to call somebody to get in to help us. And I'm not going to leave you until I feel like you're safe. Then they're like, oh, okay. And then once that person comes, then I'm going to suggest that you kindly just make sure that person. Now, the follow-up is important. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, go back and see how that person is doing, because that's what we call compassion. All right? So the last thing, a supportive church can change the outcome. Now, you name the concern. What that means is when you find out what's going on, you call it out. You call it out. What I mean by calling it out, that means if the person says, I'm thinking about suicide, repeat what they say to let them know that you heard them, and then let them know what you're doing. Well, see, I'm getting ready to call 911, or I'm getting ready to call 988 to get you some help. And you can even say get us some help, because you want to make sure this person feel like they're not alone. Okay, that's compassion, which is my next thing. Offer compassion, protect safety, and connect to care. So that is my presentation, y'all. This is a dream come true. Oh my God. A dream come true. Huh? You get one question, Pastor. I thought he said we could go, but go ahead. That's what he said. I got you though, Pastor. I got you.
If you got questions, just write them down. Amen. And just pass it to her. Amen.